children back to English class. So we were discussing about kidnap, and the main characters here are Clarissa, the girl who got kidnapped. Spud, Humphrey and Milligan are the kidnappers. And in this, Humphrey is a little bit very soft-hearted person, and he likes children. So therefore he is trying to make Clarissa feel comfortable, and Clarissa was very quiet for some time, and then afterwards when she saw Humphrey arranging the table for cats, she joined with them. And Spud, he tried to scare her away, to move away from the cats. Let us see what happens now. I want to play too, she said. So she is least bothered. She is least bothered that she got kidnapped, and already she suggested the people that, are you fools? My guardian is having so much. That means he is so rich, he is overloaded. Right? And then why are you asking only 50,000? So that had pushed all the three kidnappers into a state of shock. But anyway, somehow then they thought that no, the girl herself is in a shock. Therefore, she is talking like that. But what we see here is Clarissa is very comfortable. She is very confident, and she came to the table, and she now is saying that she wanted also to play. Go back to your cocoa, Spud ordered. So who gave the cocoa to her? Right, yes, it is Humphrey, who is kind-hearted and who likes Clarissa, gave her a cocoa. But Clarissa opened her mouth and let out a high-pitched wailing yell. It went on, and Spud, Milligan and Humphrey covered their ears. So what happened? So when Spud tried to make her go back to her drink, then this Clarissa, she opened her mouth, she started screaming loudly, and they couldn't bear the noise, and then all the three, they have covered their ears. Then now Humphrey is telling, maybe she will stop if we let her play. So what Humphrey suggested, maybe she will stop if we let her play. And he dealt out a hand to Clarissa. So he dealt with Clarissa by giving out his hand of cards to Clarissa. She stopped screeching and picked up her cards. Then she proceeded without any trouble at all to win 10 games and $50. And see, now do you think that the child is in a shock that she is kidnapped? No, not at all. She's very comfortable, and she's very active, and also she won 10 games continuously. 10 games continuously, as well as she won $50. It's not very nice if you ask me, Spud said disgustedly. Little girls shouldn't know how to cheat at poker. So now here he is saying that it's not very nice if you ask me. Suppose if you ask me what's happening here is good. No, it's not nice, because little girls should not know how to cheat at poker. So at the poker game, knowing how to cheat others and then winning, this is not at all good for little girls. Clarissa pocketed her winnings and went to bed. She happily had put all her $50 in her pocket, and she went to bed. She slept very well. In the morning, she woke up early. Humphrey, Spud and Milligan were dozing. So where are we? Yeah, dozing fitfully in uncomfortable chairs. Clarissa made herself a substantial breakfast and then examined the barn. So what happened? So what do you guess, first of all? See, if you are kidnapped, what will be your feeling? Yeah, if any one of us, we will never sleep, is it not? So there is no point that we will even open our mouth. We won't even try to move from the place. But see the way Clarissa is behaving. She is comfortably moving everywhere. She went and played. She won $50, and she happily slept. Where all the three people here, those who are what do we call so these three kidnappers, they were only sitting in chairs and trying to see that she should not escape from the place where they had hid her. Right? So kidnappers are not sleeping. and happily the kidnapped child is sleeping. And now after she woke up, she had a very substantial, very belly full of breakfast, and she started examining the barn in which she was put. Right. Get away from that door, Spud said, waking up. So suddenly, as they were dozing in the chase, Spud woke up and then he said, get away from the door. I have seen play forts in council parks better defended than this old barn. Clarissa scoffed. The police could have this place surrounded and you wouldn't even know. No wonder you asked for 50,000. It's all your worth. So now here, what's happening here is that she went and she tried to observe, see the area, and then she was saying that this is not a very far off place from the city. Police can easily recognize this one, and no wonder if you people, if because you are fools, this is proved by the way you have put me in this barn. Itself proves that you are fools, and that is why you are asking only 50,000. Of course, that is your worth, not more than that, because you are not great kidnappers. You are not great kidnappers. You are just very small kidnappers. Spud was so indignant that he bit his pre-baked breakfast cigar in two. What became of all the food? He demanded angrily. So now Spud, he became very angry, and then he made the cigar into two, and then he was asking like what became of all the food, whatever the food that we have prepared. So what happened to all the food? He demanded angrily. I had it for my breakfast, of course, Clarissa said. So all the food that is supposed to be sufficient for 4 people, only Clarissa ate everything. So Humphrey, Spud and Milligan had to make do with discussing the plans for collecting the ransom money instead. So now those people, now they forgot about the food and they started discussing about how to get the ransom money from Clarissa's guardian. Clarissa listened. It won't work, she jeered. Just how do you expect Humphrey to reach the hollow tree in the park past a whole lot of detectives all lying in wait? It's too corny collecting ransom money from a hollow tree. So now they were planning, and from Clarissa's words we can understand the plan that they were asking the ransom money to be put up in a hollow tree which is there in a park. And after a while, Humphrey has to go and collect the money and then bring it back. So, listening to this particular plan, so Clarissa laughed, jeered in the sense she laughed very cunningly and cruelly, in fact. And then she said like, so this is a very, very old plan, right? It's a very corny in the sense it's very old fashioned. And it's a dull plan. And how do you think that if there will be, so in parks you can see the detectives moving here and there, and how can he go and fetch that money for us? And what would you suggest then, Miss Smarty? Spud asked. Spud was very irritated with this girl, and he was asking, Miss Smarty, what would be your plan? Right. Some place where they can't set up an ambush, of course. Right? That means ambush here in the sense attack from a hidden position. That means people cannot hide and then they can attack on. Suppose if it is in a park, they can hide easily behind the bushes and all that. They will be observing the hollow tree, and as immediately as Humphrey reaches there, people may attack him. But here now she is saying that I suggest, like according to me, there should not be a setup where they ambush. That means they hide and then they suddenly attack. And tell them to put the money in a briefcase in a plastic bag and drop it off the pier. One of you could get it wearing scuba gear. So now she is saying that the other one, the other choice or the other plan could be something like that. Ask them to put the money in a briefcase and put it under a pyre. So what do you mean by a pyre? Like suppose from you can observe like in some sceneries, and as well as at some places if you have visited a river bank or seashore, you can see that from land you can see like there will be a construction to reach to some distance into the water, to some extent into the water. So that will be made of wood and we will be walking on it, right? So that is only for sightseeing and all that, right? So that is called the pyre. So now this pyre is constructed from land till some part, like maybe one fourth of the river or one fourth of the sea. Sea we can't define it as one fourth, but to some extent, so to some meters. And under the spud, under that pyre, if somebody puts this briefcase, it will be easy for us to pick it up and how to go there. So wear a scuba gear and then go there and then fetch the suitcase so that nobody can hide, because that place will be very plain. There won't be bushes around. So if at all they have to hide only in the water, and thus she says that that's a better option to get the ransom amount. It's a much better plan that your old hollow tree. I will draft a new anonymous letter to my rich guardian. Now she is saying that I will write a letter to my rich guardian. Right? Clarissa began cutting letters from Spud's newspaper, even though he hadn't read the racing page yet. She pasted the letters onto a sheet of paper, and even Spud had to admit that it looked far more professional than theirs. And she had doubled the ransom money too. So what did she say? It is an anonymous letter. That means it should not be in writing. If somebody writes, right, it is easy to identify whose handwriting it is. So what she did is that she wanted to draft a letter, but that is by cutting the alphabets from the newspaper. So whichever alphabets she needed, she had cut from newspaper and she made it into words and then sentences. And also she made the ransom amount double. How much did the kidnappers ask? Kidnappers asked for 50,000 and she made it 1 lakh. Okay, and then these kidnappers, they thought that whatever she is doing is much professional than them. But none of us can scuba dive, Humphrey pointed out. Now Humphrey is saying, no, but none of us can scuba dive. We can't dive. I can, said Clarissa crushingly. I will collect the money, but only if you give me a share. So now she said, I can scuba dive. If you don't know, I can do it. Right? I will bring the suitcase to you, but on one condition, that you will give me share. That's only right, said Humphrey. If she picks it up, she should be given something. 95%, said Clarissa. Or I won't go at all. Anyhow, you wouldn't have any ransom money in the first place if it wasn't for me. So then now she is saying that how much share she is asking? 95%. Right? 95% of the share she is demanding, and she is also scaring them, saying that you won't be getting any ransom money if it is not for me. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be sitting in this draughty old barn with nothing to eat for breakfast but a toffee apple, said Spud. I wish we would concentrate on stealing your rich guardian's valuable oil paintings instead. So now he said, no, not an issue. We know how to earn, so we can also plan and then steal the valuable oil paintings from your guardian's palace. You would never get near them. They are fitted with electronic alarms. Now she said, now you can't go there. You can't go there. See, by kidnapping me, so you won't be getting anything. Suppose if I won't go and get that suitcase. And the next point is, you cannot go and then steal the oil paintings because they were fitted with electronic alarms. And I stole Mona Lisa once, Spud remarked boastfully. So he is saying, what they sell this, after all, personal oil paintings. I have stole Mona Lisa once. You know the painting, Mona Lisa painting? Yes, that's a painting without eyebrows. You can see a woman. They say, I don't know, how far it is true. I have never experienced it, but people say that when you are in a very gloomy mood, that means a very sad mood, you will feel her face to be sad, and if you are in a very happy mood, you will feel her face to be very happy. This is what they say about Mona Lisa. I don't know how far it is right, but as per me, I observed the picture, but I didn't feel it to be like that. maybe we should have some sense of painting, then only we'll understand it, right? So he says that, and it's a very, very famous painting. I think it is by Da Vinci, drawn by Da Vinci, and it's very expensive. And this will be put up in a museum in London, and hence it's very difficult to steal Mona Lisa. So he said that I stole the Mona Lisa once, and you got only as far as the front door before they caught you. Right? I read about it in the paper. I read about it in the paper. The only way you could steal my grand guardian's paintings is if I came along and showed you the secret panel where you can cut off the alarm circuit. So there. So now she is saying that, you stole Mona Lisa, but you could only go till the front door. They caught you because I read all this about all this in the newspaper. So don't boast yourself. The only ways to my guardian's paintings is that if you take me, if I help you in showing the secret panel where to switch off the electrical circuitry, then only you can steal the oil painting. So either it is for the ransom money or for the oil paintings, you need my help. That's all. That is what she's saying. Spud sorely began a round of poker while Humphrey went out to deliver the ransom note. Clarissa won another 10 games. Spud thought with pleasure that after tonight they would be rid of her. Soon as we pick up that briefcase, we would drop you off at your mansion, he said. So now, though there is no way, so everybody compromised to her like a proposal, and then Humphrey he went out like to give the like that note, like and then arrange for the ransom amount. So what Spud is thinking is that, so again they were playing the poker and she won again 10 more games, and Spud is fed off with this girl, and he was thinking that Amma, for some more, for one more day after that we can just get rid of this girl. So he said that we will drop you off at your mansion, he said. First we will come back here and count the money, contradicted Clarissa. So now Clarissa is saying, no, 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 no. First we have to bring the money here, count the money. Don't you know you can't trust anyone? You are the most hopeless gang leader I have ever met. So she is saying that, don't you know that we should not trust anyone? So how can we trust our guardian? He may give proper money or not. Right? So proper count or not. So therefore we have to count first. So, and then also she is saying that you are the worst gang leader I have ever met. And you will have to make plans about leaving the country too, and you people should also plan to leave the country too. You will need to learn a foreign language, but that's no problem. This afternoon you can all study French verbs. I will supervise. That's after you clean up the gateway car. I am not going anywhere to pick up the ransom money in a car as dirty as that. So now she is saying that, so it's not so easy. See, after blackmailing, after kidnapping me, you people have to leave to some other country. So now I'll under my supervision you learn French words so that you can manage while after leaving the country, and also you have to clean the dirty car. I cannot go in such a dirty car to fetch the ransom amount. Okay, so this is the way. Very weird, is it not? It's not natural behavior of any child, right? Who is kidnapped will be behaving like this. So now let's see this the remaining part next.